It is with great privilege I now invite Mr. Len Kelly to read a letter on behalf of the Appleby family, Miss Andrea Gerard.
I'll take that. Okay, we're going up here.
This morning we actually have a live cross back to Tasmania with Andrea Gerard. She's here right now. Can you hear us, Andrea? Okay, we're up on the podium now. Also with Arthur Appleby. There's some amazing coincidences. Andrea had written to my comrade Noel Ford, whom I didn't know at the time, asking to help find Arthur Appleby. And at the same time I was doing other research, and I had met Andrea at Concierge in 2016. Oh, sorry. Yep. And she said that she was looking for Arthur Appleby. When I was doing research on Bullecourt, I came across the case where I thought, oh, this could be Arthur Appleby. And concurrently, Noel Ford was doing the same research, and we both came to the conclusion that the gravestone here today was that of Captain Arthur Appleby. And next to him on his right is one of his comrades, Lieutenant Ewell or Second Lieutenant Adams. We don't know which one, but he's there with his mate, with Captain Appleby. Now these are the words that Andrea has asked me to read. So here we go, Andrea. Okay. With today's ceremony, it brings closure for myself and my late mother. Following the findings at Pheasant Wood, my mother was utterly convinced that Arthur Harold would be found and that it was my job to do so. While I failed, Noel Ford and Len Kelly, two researchers from opposites of the world, managed to find where the final resting place of Captain Arthur Harold Appleby, 12th Battalion AIF, was located, having been moved from his battlefield grave. Sadly, my mother did not live long enough to see her wish fulfilled. Growing up, Uncle Harold was often mentioned in conversations. While my mother did not know her uncle, her father and his only brother and relative often spoke of the handsome young captain who died during the First World War, a much-loved brother. Arthur was born at Launceston on the 13th of March 1892 to Arthur Sr. and Elizabeth Appleby. Arthur Appleby worked as a railway porter, and soon after the birth of the second son, Aubrey, the family moved to Hobart for work. Tragedy struck the small family when the mother, Elizabeth, died in August 1898, when the boys were aged 6 and 4 respectively. It would appear that the brothers were packed off back to Launceston to live with their Aunt Mary and her family. To compound the family situation, Arthur died the following year, so the boys were now orphans. With two extra boys growing in the house and a husband having deserted, Aunt Mary struggled to feed and clothe her own 4 children, plus the 2 nephews. Things came to a head in 1903 when Aubrey, aged only 9, got himself into trouble with the law and was sent to Launceston jail for 10 days, after which he was to be handed over to the Department of Neglected Children. To relieve the burden further on Aunt Mary, Harold went to live with his maternal grandfather at Sunnyside near Railton, where he finished his schooling. Harold did well at school and secured a job with the John Blundstone and Son bootmakers in Hobart in their accounts section. With no other family in Hobart, he went to live with Bridie Williams, who was Aubrey's foster mother. While Aubrey never had a good relationship with Bridie, Harold hit it off with her. Every year, after his death, she would place a notice in the newspaper of the anniversary of Harold's death. He was still living with Bridie when he enlisted in May 1915. Aubrey, who was by then working on a farm as an orchard hand, had enlisted the previous month with the 26th Battalion AIF, and Harold, having been involved with the militia, enlisted as an officer and was allotted to the 7th Reinforcements for the 12th Battalion. Both brothers served on Gallipoli, but whether their paths crossed here or later, we will never know. They probably did. What we do know is that when Captain Arthur Harold Appleby was killed in action at Bullecourt on the 6th of May 1917, among his possessions was a small wallet that contained photographs of his parents and 2 of his brother. The death of Captain Arthur Harold Appleby must have hit his brother Aubrey hard. His loved brother and last remaining member of the family had gone. We believe from the Red Cross records that Aubrey did visit his battlefield grave at Bullecourt, which gave him a chance to say goodbye. Harold might have died, but his memory lived on in the family. While I can't be with you today, except on the microphone. It gives me enormous satisfaction that a much loved Uncle Harold, Captain Arthur Harold Appleby, 12th Battalion IAF, now has a headstone on his grave that has his name engraved on it. I'm sure that on a previous visit to the cemetery, I walked past this grave without realising he was there. My heartfelt thanks to Len, Noel, Lambus and Cameron Clark, all who have been involved in today's ceremony, making sure that my mother's wishes have been fulfilled. Without all your help, we would not be here today. Thank you. Okay, we're done. Okay, thank you. No worries. Okay, order followed.
Six, 3, 7, Captain Arthur Harold Appleby, 12th Battalion, Australian Imperial Force, killed in action, 6th of May, 1917.